Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of happy I'm doing this from in my back room because if I were doing it in my truck, my face would be extra red from the heat and I'd have to do more color correction when I go over there and do the thumbnail. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, as I alluded to, I am in my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster behind me. Ooh, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it, though? You know it. I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today, though? Happens to be my Essinger shirt. It's got a little bit of crap on it. I need to put it through the wash. But what is Essinger? Essinger is a one-man musical project, sort of focusing mostly sort of electronica style music, kind of electronic rock, a little bit of industrial elements to it. I got into his stuff a few years ago. He was on tour with the band Cybertronic Spree, who I'm a big fan of. And I really loved his set. You know, I have a great deal of respect for people who can perform on stage in general. But even more so when you're able to go up there and be the show, you're that one person. And I just thought his stuff was really cool. I actually got some videos of his performance. Those videos are on my channel, in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as his music goes, because I think he's damn spiffy. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why am I not red-faced out in my car right now? That's because time I'm doing this, it's just too hot, man. We've been dealing with a bit of a heat wave at the time I'm doing this. It's not as bad today as it was the last couple days, but it's still too hot. And so originally I was going to review this in my car, but I just no. And like I said, when I review stuff from in the car when it's extra hot, it's like my face gets all red and I get all that. So, what am I reviewing that I would have been reviewing out in the car? Boom! It's from Arby's. This is their brand new boop-a-doo. Boop, 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 boop-a-doo. This is their new Angus cheesesteak. Yeah! So, they've had cheesesteaks available before. In fact, I think I even reviewed it at one point. But this one's got Angus beef in it, which probably means very little in this context, but at the end of the day. Now, what with this being the shape and general construction that it is, I'm considering this a sub sandwich, which means I have to preface this review with three things real quick. Number one, for over 3 years now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures. What that means is I've been going out to basically every place that sells sub sandwiches, be they chain locations, Walmart, the break room at my work. I've been trying out their sub sandwiches. I've been reviewing them. I've been posting them in my YouTube channel. But such a nice guy, I don't just post them into my YouTube channel. And that's where number two comes into play. I have an entire playlist called Subs for Subs. And that's where I go over there and I post up my sub sandwich reviews so they're all in one place for anybody who might want to enjoy them. Time I'm doing this, folks, I have over 200 sub sandwich reviews in that playlist. So you got plenty. But maybe you're greedy, maybe you want more sub sandwich review and goodness. All you have to do, folks, is wait until Sunday, because that's where number three comes into play. Sunday is SUBday. Sunday is the day when I go over there and upload my sub sandwich reviews. I have not missed a Sunday in over 3 years. That's where this review is going to end up. But let's get a thing for the thing. I mean, it's only so impressive because it is what it is. Looks like that, and we'll just kind of go, ha 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 ha! It's a very thin cheesesteak. Let's give it a go, though. Yeah. I remember. I remember when Angus beef was like distinctly reserved for high quality establishments. I do feel as though it has lost a lot of its luster over the years. But hey, I'll roll with it. That's not bad. That's honestly pretty damn tasty. It's nice, it's meaty. I could do with more meat, if I'm being honest. But that's honestly neither here nor there. But yeah, it's steaky tasting. And, you know, it's got the peppers, I'm guessing it's got onions in there because I'm definitely tasting some oniony stuff. So it's got the nice textural element, nice and cheesy. Obviously, it's not that more sort of cheese whiz style cheese that I believe the more authentic cheesesteaks are famous for. But the melted cheese is nice. It definitely tastes like a cheesesteak, as, you know, you figure it would. Now, that said, I've eaten a cheesesteak or two in my time, but I've never been to Philly. I've never had a proper cheesesteak. You know, I can only go off of what my personal experiences have been. But, honestly, that's not terrible. It's definitely still a fast food interpretation of it, but in terms of fast food interpretations, I've had cheesesteaks from Sonic. I've had cheesesteaks from IHOP. This is definitely a step up from either of those. It tastes the closest to what I would consider, you know, like the cheesesteaks that I've had, where they were like more proper cheesesteaks from cheesesteak places. It tastes a lot closer to that than those other options had. Is it, you know, any better than the original version of the Arby's cheesesteak? Probably. I do feel like the meat itself has a more steaky vibe. It definitely has a bit more of a punchiness to it, you know? And, you know, yeah, obviously the cheesesteak aspect, you know, the steak needs to be a big part of it. And I think that them going over there, even if it's a relatively marginal improvement, I do feel like it's an improvement. And I do think it makes for a better overall cheesesteak experience. So I can actually kind of get down with it. Like, there's nothing I'm disliking about this, you know, as a cheesesteak. It's tasty, it's steaky, it's cheesy. It's doing all the things that it's supposed to do. I can't be mad at it. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Sure and sure. Like, I'm not going to go over there and give it, like, a resounding recommendation, because at the end of the day, it's still a fast food cheesesteak. But, here's the deal. For myself personally, I don't need to get this again. Like, I actually have some places where I can get some pretty solid cheesesteaks. Again, not, you know, as good as, like, the authentic ones, but proper cheesesteak specialty places, right? I could go to those places. But I do like Arby's, and, like, I appreciate it when they go over there and have different options on their menu. If I happen to go to Arby's and, you know, maybe I just wanted, you know, roast beef sandwich or something like that, but maybe I wanted to get something for, you know, a little bit later on, this isn't a bad cheesesteak option. You know, it's not going to live up to the real deal, but I can still get down with it. If I'm recommending it, obviously, if you have a proper cheesesteak place near you, you don't really need to go into this. But, again, there's the convenience factor to take into account. And the other thing that, again, I really do have to stress is that it's not a bad tasting cheesesteak. You know, it's genuinely pretty tasty. Everything about it pretty much works the way you want it to. It could be meatier, it could be cheesier and steakier, but it tastes like a cheesesteak, and it's not bad. So, if you're in a situation where either, again, the convenience thing comes to play, or maybe you just don't have access to cheesesteaks otherwise, you could do a lot worse. You could get a cheesesteak from IHOP. But, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly cheesesteak-tastic rest of your life. Folks, one day, like, there are so many foods that I would love to try, throughout the United States and really the world. Maybe if this YouTube thing ever takes off, I'm just saying, Food Network, talk to me. I would love to go to Philly to get a proper Philly cheesesteak. That's a bucket list item. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, if you've ever had a proper cheesesteak, let me know. If you've ever had a proper one and then you've had one away from Philly, how do they compare, right? Because, of course, Chicago and Illinois, we're famous for some of our food, and there have been places that have exported those offerings. And typically speaking, when I've talked with people who've had both, it ranges from it's absolutely dog shit terrible to, yeah, you can see where they're going with it. Maybe not quite as good, but close enough. So, anyway,